The anime for solo leveling has arrived, and it much exceeds my expectations. It was amazing. This animation was almost perfect, staying true to the well-known manhwa, a Korean manga series called Solo Leveling. It's a delightful book to read if you haven't already. I was a little concerned about how well kids would adjust to it since it's just so much fun. The studio, A1 Pictures, specializes in fairy tales and sword art on the internet, but this is a big IP, I believe. It has a significant following. They gave it their best. Take a peek at some of these animations, please. They're stunning. The voice acting was excellent, and the graphic design is quite tidy. It was excellent in every way. I have no grievances. This anime is the latest big thing. I will analyze this episode, provide a synopsis, and introduce the series to those who are unaware. However, I must say that I am completely astounded. That concludes it. This is excellent. You are currently viewing at AniToodle. Without further ado, kindly let us know what you think of the first episode and how much you loved it by giving it a thumbs up and commenting below. It increases channel promotion and helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thus, the setting in which the solo leveling tale is set is quite similar to One Punch Man. There are variously ranking heroes, advancing monsters, magical weapons, and so forth. Basically, 10 years ago, individuals began to awaken their superpowers and extraordinary talents as a result of the appearance of these portals to other realms on Earth. Now, in contrast to many other stories, solo leveling truly prevents you from becoming any stronger. Similar to One Punch Man, you are assigned a rating as you awaken, with E being the lowest and S being the highest. Additionally, you may purchase magical weapons to get stronger in that regard, even if you cannot level up, upgrade, or improve. Therefore, you can become stronger in that sense with better gear, weapons, armor, and artifacts. But you are no longer able to boost your powers yourself, which makes S-rank heroes far superior to everyone else. And this is evident when we first encounter a group of hunters in the opening scene, which, as the narrative's protagonists, battle these ant creatures. Up until the arrival of the S-rank heroes, who dispatch these ant monsters with ease, they are being utterly destroyed. Thus, Episode 1's world building is superb. The tempo is really good. They lay out the entire planet's intentions as well as the weakest hero in the universe, the main character, whom we will meet shortly. He's an E-rank, prone to injuries all the time, and unable to truly gather any of the magical things they will all be searching for. Thus, these heroes gain a variety of priceless gems and treasures as they pass through the portals and conquer the dungeon. Compared to nuclear energy or any other energy source, they offer a very clean power source. Thus, this is the primary caretaker, Sun Gun-woo, and the other hunters' duty. It's also the greatest method for them to be paid. Additionally, the first episode reveals that the main character's mother, Sung, is ill and that he is attempting to cover her medical expenses. Thus, it was established that although the main character is the least powerful hero, he has a great, kind heart. He does not give up. He repeatedly enters these dungeons and nearly perishes in order to amass a small sum of money to maintain his family. He so enters a D-rank gate accompanied by many other hunters who, in effect, carry him. Sung and the other weak hunters kind of tag along and get carried when they travel to these hunting groups in the hopes of finding some gems or a little piece of equipment that would help them become stronger. However, we see Sung being severely injured in a straightforward fight. He gets stabbed, for example, and that he would have perished if a different hunter hadn't healed him. Despite allowing him to accompany them, the other hunters tease Sung, the outsider, mercilessly. However, it doesn't seem like a big deal to him. His sights are set on the goal, and all he wants is anything that will bring in some cash so he can provide for his family. The other hunters reach a boss door as they emerge from the dungeon. These people have no idea what's waiting for them inside this enormous, intimidating-looking door. Most gateways are rather straightforward. Anywhere from E to S is the rank assigned to them. After entering and eliminating every enemy, you must defeat a boss who is holding the best things before you may exit the portal. The entrance shuts. However, there is a giant person in this enormous hallway and a massive entrance in this dungeon, for whatever reason. The story's progression is greatly aided by this eerie statue. I promise not to give you any spoilers about it. However, when the lesser statues start to come to life and the hunters or heroes discover that they are in an area that is much higher than it should be, you won't soon forget this magnificent monument. They're now in a battle for their lives since there's something wrong with this gateway. The enormous chamber statues start to come to life, and they're incredibly strong, possibly S rank or perhaps more. As they begin to murder every hunter with a single shot, the remaining hunters, who are attempting to escape, cry in fear. The first episode ends there, essentially, leaving you on a cliffhanger. The first episode wasn't all that lengthy, but they really did a great job with it. After watching the teasers, I honestly had low expectations for this show, so I was pleasantly pleased. Sadly, the guy who invented solo leveling is no longer with us, and I think part of the reason for his death was overwork. The manga's chapters, which were incredibly lengthy and exquisitely colored, were released roughly every week or two. I recommend reading Solo Leveling if you haven't already, even if you're simply an anime fan. I fell in love with the dude very soon, particularly around the third or fourth episode of the show. It starts to take off quite a bit. I would suggest giving this series a try. Check this out if you only want to watch the anime and don't enjoy reading manga. It could turn out to be the year's best anime. And how nicely Studio 11 Pictures has handled this has really astonished me. Everything about this first episode was really clean. I hope they can maintain this level of quality for the duration of the series, but I'm guessing they did. There will be chaos in the upcoming episode. The first part of the season is when things start to become really fantastic. Solo leveling is an experience, so I don't want to give you guys any spoilers. This novel is remarkable because, for anyone who enjoys role-playing games, such as Dungeons & Dragons or just power fantasy in general, putting oneself in the main character's shoes becomes thrilling. You sense that you are taking on this persona. And as an audience member, you develop alongside him as he does. However, this narrative has a lot of turns and turns. Numerous mysteries remain to be solved. Furthermore, those who are unaware of the concept of solo leveling are in for a wild ride. The joy of seeing Song's character development is, however, what this series excels at most. Combat occurs in almost every chapter. The show doesn't really have any sluggish parts. With each new chapter and episode, there is constant enjoyment and development. You will also notice that this is a planned 24-episode series and that Chapter 1 and Episode 1 seem to go hand in hand. Therefore, after 24 episodes, we will start to witness some of the more fascinating aspects of this series. However, we won't really know where this series is headed until we get to roughly Episode 10, since you could assume, oh great, another anime with some weakling, after seeing Sung. But, in one regard, you have no idea what's about to happen. It's like having One Punch Guy and several heroes of varying ranks. However, it differs from One Punch Man in another way as well, as the latter heavily emphasizes the backstories of the S-rank heroes. Rather, the main character is the center of attention in an anime or single-level tale. You also find yourself cheering for the main character in each and every one of his fights, even though it does exaggerate some of the other characters. The first episode was enjoyable. I would genuinely rate it a 10 out of 10. I have nothing negative to say. You guys must see this program, and I really want to evaluate each episode individually, so hopefully this video does well. Solo leveling is something I adore. I really urge you to read this wonderful, enjoyable narrative. I appreciate you seeing. I really hope you liked the video. In case you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I'll see you guys soon for more solo leveling.